Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. We are obviously outside this morning. I wanted to get this filmed here today before it got too hot. I think it is finally supposed to warm up here in Michigan. We've been chilly the last few days, and we've had some chilly nights. So I am out in our yard next to the goats, so hopefully they don't get too loud. And I'm out by our hose right now because I wanted to run through continue our discussion on water bottles and how I actually clean them. One of my last videos we talked about Crocs versus bottles, and I am a bottle proponent, have been since I started doing this many years ago. But there are lots of great reasons for Crocs, and a lot of people had input, and I think that's perfect. That's what I want this channel to be, is everyone's what they do, and then let people try for themselves what's going to work best. And also we have mosquitoes. Sorry, I was hoping to beat the mosquitoes today, and I don't think I have, so I may have to stop this and go get some bug spray on. So I have used bottles for years. At one point a few years ago, I did have a 5-gallon bucket with an automated system set up with the metal nipples, and I used that for about 6 months, spring and summer and into fall. And then the place we were at before was not well insulated, and once winter hit, I did have issues with keeping that all thawed out. Here in Michigan, that is one thing that I have to take in consideration. What I've done for years is I have enough bottles that I have double the amount of bottles. So I can fill in the morning and have a second set either empty. And I use those, I should have brought it with me, I use those plastic buckets with handles. I'll try to put a link down below. I love those things, the flexible tubs, I guess. And I have a tub full of my extras. And so in the winter time previously, I would water in the morning, and then about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they would be frozen. So I would fill the second set, and I didn't have nipples for all of them. And when I say that, I mean these, the heads, or where they drink from. And so I would, if you rinse these are made out of metal and plastic. If you rinse them with hot enough water, you can defrost them pretty easily. You just want to make sure that ball in there is movable, and then you know it's working. And so I would switch every day in the winter, and our winters tend to be long. Most days, if it was under, freezing, they would freeze up. And so that's how I managed that, because I've had so many rabbits for so many years. It was just one of those things that I needed to get a whole second set. So when I say a second set, I probably have 40 water bottles, because I usually have about 20 rabbits on average most of the time. And so I have a second set that I would do. Coming here to this home last spring, we spent our first winter here, and I quickly found out that my barn, where my rabbits are, which you guys have seen in all the videos, is extremely well insulated. And so last year I did not have to, there may have been a day or two where some of them were a little bit frozen and I had to put hot water in them, but nothing like what I've had in the past. So that has been a huge blessing. Also, this summer I have spent 18 years doing frozen water bottles in a freezer to put in with them in the summer once it got over 80. And last summer was our first summer here, and I did not have to do that, and it was a very hot summer here in Michigan. And this summer as well, it started out extremely hot, and I did not have to use frozen water bottles in my cages for the first time in 18 years. So that was lovely. But back to the water bottles, I wanted to show you, because these things are not cheap, just like anything else that you're doing. Most stuff is not cheap these days, and so you don't want to just throw them out and buy new ones. At least I don't. Even I was looking on Amazon this morning. I'm going to do some more research, but even just to buy these, the caps for them are like $6.99. Well, you can get the whole bottle. I think in the video I did, the bulk set I bought was 6 of them, and I think they averaged out to be about $8 a piece. So you almost do better just buying the whole set again. And I did have a question about these leaking. And yes, sometimes they do leak. And one of the things I told the gal in the comments, if I remember right, it was a girl, there is and I can't get it out because it's not supposed to come out. There is a washer inside of these that sometimes will get loose and come out. If that's missing, it will leak typically. So always make sure that when you're refilling them, like I do a lot of my stuff outdoors, the hose is right down here, and so I'll just bring them over here and fill them out in the grass. Make sure you're not losing that gasket because that will make them leak. Although I have had some that have lost the gasket and been fine, but most of the time that's what you're going to find. And then the ball in here has to be able to freely, you can hear it, it needs to be able to freely run through there. If it's stuck, it may cause it to leak. And in the winter, that's what gets frozen actually, is this end, and then the rabbits can't drink off from it. So those are two things to look at for leaking. So I've been experimenting with some cleaning stuff, and I wanted to just run through this with you. These, you can clean these bottles, so you're not purchasing new bottles every time these get nasty, and they do get nasty. These two were actually sitting on the shelf. I have not cleaned them yet this summer because I haven't needed them. And so I wanted to show you what I use and how I do it. So I had actually last week, with the thoughts of this video in my mind, I had gone searching for, so this is what I've always used, is just a baby bottle brush or a bottle brush. And this is fine, although to get some of the nooks and crannies up around the edges here, it doesn't always work as well, but for the most part you can get them pretty clean with this. So I wanted to find a foam one like this, and I was really hopeful about this one, but it's still just too big to go down in the hole. So this does not work, and I'm going to keep searching. I know you can purchase these also with the foam heads at the and then the brushes, and that's probably, this is just one I had in my kitchen. And so the ones with the foam around the end are probably going to be even better than just this bottle brush, so look for that. And I have two schools of thought here. I am not a big chemical person in our house or our yard. I try to avoid as much chemical stuff as I can. But I did purchase this. It's the Dawn Power Wash Platinum Dish Spray to try today. Actually to try on my water bottles because I don't know, I saw a commercial and it was amazing what it did on the dishes. So and I used it this last weekend to clean a bunch of bottles, and this does work really well. So I actually have this bottle sprayed with it, and I don't know if you can tell, but this was algae. It was pretty green, and I kind of watched it when I sprayed in there, and it kind of dropped the algae pretty much right away. So I just squirted it in here like this, and you can kind of, with this sprayer, you can, it comes out kind of as a foam, and you can get it down in the edges and stuff here, and then as the foam does its thing, it kind of just cleans as you go along. So I have that one there. I also have doTERRA, which I'm a huge fan of doTERRA. Purchase a lot of their products, and I always have this cleaner concentrate on hand. I use this for most of my kitchen bathroom cleaning, and so I put just a squirt of this in here and kind of ran it around, and I can see it's doing some stuff at the bottom. But of course with the foam kind of clings to the sides and does a little bit more. So we're going to kind of just do a test here. I actually have not tried the doTERRA this last weekend. I only tried the Dawn spray because I wanted to see how it works. But what I do is just go in and to clean these, it's just real basic. You would just, actually I could do it right now, but I usually just soak them. And you can run all of this stuff through the dishwasher too. I know there's tricks and hints like putting, I've seen where people put marbles into these and shake them and the marbles kind of clear the sides. That's another trick. It works okay. I find that the brush works the best because you can really scrub. And of course, once you're done doing this, you want to spray them out, rinse them, especially the one with the Dawn in there. You want to make sure that this is super clear of any residue. And this bottle brush could stand. I'm going to get one with the foam end. I used to have one. I don't know what happened to it in the move, which was over a year and a half ago now. And I'm still not fully moved in, I feel like. But this one's just a tad short also. And I feel like if I got one with that foam end and a little bit longer, it's going to work a lot better. But the doTERRA, Mr. Rooster says good morning. The doTERRA is actually, and I've never tried the doTERRA. I've used dish soap and stuff like that previously. And so it's actually working really well. Now these get dingy, but again, they're solid, and you don't want to just throw them away just because they're dingy. So the outsides kind of stay dingy, but the doTERRA, you can see all the green coming out. It really did. I'll rinse this really good, but most of what I can see is gone. So doTERRA for the win, more natural choice. And I'm not sure with the sunlight, you can kind of see that the foam on the Dawn has already cleaned. I can see the line where it's already dropped down and kind of already cleaned the sides. So the Dawn works really well too, but again, it's personal choice. Oops, almost lost it there. It's personal choice, and you still have to go in and put the brush in here too. So this works, they work about the same, guys. Again, the Dawn might be just a tad bit easier around these top edges where it just kind of foams down and cleans it. And yeah, so these are going to be nice and clean today. So I think either way, as long as you have a brush, either way you go, whether natural or... So that's just helping more and more people. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I hope you're creating something. Bye.